Rice is deeply ingrained in Chinese culture. For thousands of years, the Chinese way of life has been centered around rice. Rice has long traveled with the Chinese across the world. No matter where they live in the world today, the Chinese will never forget the taste of rice. There is a Chinese proverb that says one type of rice can develop into 100 types of people. People across mountains and oceans, people who have stayed true to their heritage, and people who have embraced change. They meet and their journey begins. To trace the origins and trails of rice and the stories behind it.
I became a chef because I love to create food. And food is something that brings people happiness.
Alvin Leong, a world-renowned 3 Michelin star chef. He's of Chinese heritage, whose ancestors came from Teochew. As a chef, Alvin Leong enjoys exploring the stories of the ingredients he uses. Each and every culinary creation of his tells a unique story which originates from his observation of everyday life. As a Chinese living overseas, China is both his hometown and yet at the same time an unfamiliar place.
Well, Eric, you can describe him as my protege, my student. He's the first winner of MasterChef Canada.
So I was born and raised in Canada, but with an Asian background, I always found a need to find the origin of Asian food and discover as much new food as possible.
You know, I've been asked the question, what's your favorite ingredients? And the answer is simple: rice. Rice is very important. It's eaten by about half the world's population. In China, it symbolizes life. It is very, very precious.
Rice is one of the most important food crops in the world today, feeding half of the world's population as their staple food. About 7,000 to 10,000 years ago, the Chinese first pioneered the technique of rice growing. Today, it's grown in over 100 countries worldwide. Rice has nourished mankind, and civilizations have flourished for thousands of years wherever rice is grown. The evolution of rice correlates with the progress of mankind. Rice and mankind can be interpreted through each other, and their successes are intertwined. If rice has a mind of its own, it might ask the same questions as a chef would. Where did I come from? Where will I go? The search of the roots start in Zhejiang province, China. To meet ordinary folk and understand their extraordinary craft.
Look at this picture. Just the scenery was worth the trip here.
We're gonna learn about rice, right?
And we're gonna find out why.
When I first saw the rice terrace, I was in absolute amazement. When I think of a farm, I usually think of like a barn, hay, something really small, but I wasn't expecting this massive scenery of just green, and it was absolutely breathtaking.
And then I see the tombs scattered everywhere along the fields on the side of the mountains. And this gives me a sense of respect, how generations have spent their entire lives there growing rice. Yeah, we're almost here. Oh, there he is, right there. Mr. Wu, great. Thank you for having us here.
Mr. Wu.
Hey, how are you?
Hello. I don't know if it's because I dressed differently or what, but the kids there were super happy to see us. They were jumping up and down, couldn't stop shaking my hand. And it was nice to see that even the kids were super happy there.
这里是岛屿共生之地，它已经岛屿共生有1200多年历史了。 为什么要岛屿共生呢？当时我们这里呢，就是全部种水稻的，种水稻种起来，一家人如果10来口人还不够生活的。后来我们想到有一种办法，就是能多一点收入，就是养了鱼呢，那么收入不是多一点了？全亚洲就是我们龙县是岛屿共生的基地，啊，就在我们龙县。
So it's very, very beautiful mountain right there on
那
that
个山
range.
是
Yeah.
最高的
Yeah.
山，哎，有人找你。
哎，你好，你好。
带他们抓鱼。
你好。
Hey, how, Mr. Zhu? So tell me, how long have you been farming here?
13年了，在这边住。
And how much of this land do you own?
我这里有150多亩。
How do you keep these rice plants so healthy? How do you fertilize it? How do you stop the bugs from attacking it?
我带你去那边看看。
Oh, you're gonna show me?
啊。
Well, I tell you, I hope we're not doing this, okay? I'm not gonna fertilize 150 acres.
进来。
Okay, coming. All right, I'm coming. Whoa, wow. Well, I tell you, actually, it feels pretty good. I love that softness of the soil beside the plants. It's like walking on a very soft mattress, actually. I like this. Okay, so what's the deal here? Oh, I tell you, man, there's something moving around me. I don't know what it is, but it's scaring me. I now know the mystery of that movement beneath my feet. Are these family pets or what are they doing in here?
对，我们这养养这田鱼的，我们整个这社都养这田鱼。
Are these family pets?
我们这个就是这个岛屿共生的。不是，因为从我们知道那个年代已经1200多年历史了，我们也不太清楚，说一代一代承传下来的呗。重新把它就是宽大，老一代的留下来的东西，我们不能把它变了，因为你把那个东西破坏掉以后，那个鱼养出来的味道说不定就不一样。像我这种养法，最起码3年。第一年是鱼花是这么长，到第2年可以有这么长，到第3年我们才可以上市。这个鱼这时候2个是互相作用的，鱼可以给这除掉病虫害，像什么稻飞丝啦、什么稻虫子啊，都让鱼吃掉了。但是我们这个不打药，品质特别好。
Here, its significant architecture has had a history as long as the symbiosis of fish and rice.
这是我们龙县吴氏宗祠，已经有750年历史了，已经修了3次了。像这个都是2016年的时候修的，像这些都是我们姓吴的，他外地人送过来的东西。那这些匾啊，这些都是他们送过来，他是跟我们同一个祖宗的，都是姓吴的。以前我们龙县不是叫龙县，它叫龙国，后来改名改成龙县的，一直改过来。像这个是我们姓吴的排行。
So how many generations is this?
这个现在姓吴的搬到我们龙县来，现在有20代，我是第17代的人。
The local terrain is more mountainous and the natural environment is adverse. Since the age of the Qing dynasty, locals have been migrating overseas. Nowadays, overseas Chinese originating from Qingtian have spread across over 120 countries worldwide, totaling over 200,000. Qingtian is truly the hometown of overseas Chinese.
So not only am I interested in food, but I'm actually extremely interested in the culture and the people that live in these places. And when Mr. Wu took me to the temple and I first saw all those flags, I was extremely impressed by how far China's reach truly is. Every flag hanging up in that temple represented where relatives or people of the Wu clan actually traveled throughout the world. And there were so many flags like Jamaica, France, US, Italy. Mr. Wu explained that relatives would travel abroad, immigrate there, live for a while, but around Chinese New Year, they would come back, bring the flags with them, and actually spend time with their family again.
像这个旗呢，就是我们龙县村在哪个国家国旗，像这是西班牙的，他们在西班牙的；像那个是巴西的，他们在巴西的。
Wow, the amount of diversity is truly amazing. Are there any flags from Canada?
下面有2户人家是加拿大的。
So walking around the village with Mr. Wu, it was really nice to see that even though it was definitely a historic place, you could still see the old bricks. There's actually a lot of construction and new buildings as well. And he actually explained to me that relatives are are moving back. I suppose people are coming back just because the economy is better and they see that you can actually raise a family there now.
当时出去的时候是为了保暖，那现在想起来就是把我们中国的鼓吹带到国外去。现在我们发扬我们祖国光大，哦，中国有这么好的东西，都是爱国华侨。他们出去以后赚到钱，都回来为自己家乡做一点贡献的了。因为我们的心永远是中国心，不能把这个忘记掉。这个我是喜欢亲近那个人，我喜欢没有压力。这个干这农业啊，虽然辛苦点，压力也不大。但是我也喜欢那个鱼啊，我小时候开始就特别喜欢鱼。现在呢，国家对我们政策也很好，农民差不多种1亩地，他补给你是500块钱。他希望我们这里的土地不要荒废掉。在国外的人都很想回家，因为我们中国有句古话说“落叶归根”呢。有一种老的思想想法了，传统想法了，就是过去留下的东西，我们永远不能把它忘掉，应该把它发扬光大，把一代一代传承下去。
Then we went to the village head's home, and he cooked a special dish for us, a dish that represents the way they've been growing rice for 1,200 years, a dish with fish and rice.
So Mr. Wu invites us into his kitchen and he cooks us a feast. I actually find it amazing that he farms the fish and rice together and also cooks them together. It was the first time I've ever seen it done this way. He starts off by filling a wok full of oil, enough to shallow fry the fish. And the different thing about this fish is that he leaves the scales on. Adds his seasoning, soy, rice wine, and then some water, and then rice, the same wok. So he actually cooks the rice and the fish at the exact same time. And the reason why it's so uncommon to do this, because rice takes 30 minutes. You would never boil fish for 30 minutes because you would overcook it. But the result was phenomenal. The rice was extremely tasty and moist from the fish's juice. I guess the fish was protected by the rice. So the rice absorbs all the leftover liquid in the wok, soaks it up, and then protects the fish on the outside, which is absolutely genius.
好，甜鱼饭来了，这是我们家乡特菜。好，欢迎你到客人过来啊！快来，欢迎啊！吃吧吃吧。
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, you start
来，感
serving.
谢感谢了。好，吃吧吃吧
Okay,
吃吧
share,
啊！
share. Okay. First of all, I saw the way you cook the rice. It's very similar to clay pot rice in Hong Kong, a rice that is just full of flavor. And this one coming from the fish.
And the fish itself is cooked to perfection as well. It has that nice contrast of texture to the perfectly moist fish, and you get this little thin, crispy parts from the scale. Delicious.
这个鱼鳞你们吃吃看，鱼鳞很软的，
You can eat the scale as well?
这鱼鳞可以吃的。因为我们的水跟泥土不一样，我们的水是碱性的，泥土是酸性的，酸性跟碱性碰起来的话，它那个鱼鳞会慢慢融化掉，可以吃的。
Mr. Wu, I want to thank you for your generous hospitality. We learned a lot here.
好了，谢谢你们多吃一点，吃吧，喜欢吃什么都吃吧，吃啊。
谢谢，谢谢。
For thousands of years, rice has been the staple food for Chinese. There is also another rice dish which has long been feeding them, as well as warming their hearts. To search for this rice dish, we have to take on a journey across over 1,000 kilometers. They make their way into Chaozhou to further unearth secrets of the rice grain.
So that was a great start to our journey. We had some fantastic food from Mr. Wu, but I actually want to go to Chaozhou and find the masters of their trade. See what masters can do with their food.
Flavor awaits. To guide them, they're to meet with a scholar, an author of culinary books. But first up, he serves them a customary beverage, especially popular in southern provinces.
先生好，
谢谢，谢谢。
喝茶。
谢谢。Beautiful tea.
潮汕人把米会看成就是强护身家性命最关重要的东西。比如我们有一些东西比较常用的，他们也会把它跟米连接在一起。比如我刚才说到的茶，叫茶米，所以可想而知，米在潮汕人的生活里面是非常深入的。今天就来做一个粥啊，让你看看潮汕的粥。潮汕的粥很重要的，很多技巧 又去掌握，所以我们今天就来做粥。
Okay, excellent, excellent. I tell you, my favorite food, the ultimate comfort food for me, is rice porridge, or other known as congee. So, show me how you do it.
这个水要先煮沸腾，那么我们就放米。
Where's the rice from?
这个米呢是从东北，东北吉林过来，都是朋友，他们觉得有什么米好吃，会寄一些给我，来做。但是正常呢，如果普通家庭我们做粥呢，不会那么讲究，就什么米都 OK 了，主要是以新米。
Now, there's many different rice, many different recipes, and I'm really excited to have yours. So, everything in. Okay. Looking at you doing this, this is something new I see. When I cook congee, I never stir it. Now, I can't remember, maybe I was a bit too young, but when my grandma was cooking it, she used to put the rice just in there and let it do its magic.
这个酒最主要的关键有2个点。 第一个呢，就是不要让这个米粘着的锅。第二个呢，就是煮起来的粥就是粘稠，吃起来那种口感跟普通煮出来的粥比较寡。那么这种煮出来的既是粥有汤，但是米的颗粒呢，又要饱满有嚼劲，跟广州的粥、香港的粥是不一样。香港的粥是一口喝下去。 那没有酒劲，等下这个米呢一开花，我们就爆花，把爆就可以，这差不多好了。好，来炒粥。
I am waiting for this. I waited long for this. I can hardly wait for this.
That looks delicious. Wow, this is very different than congee I'm used to. Actually, the rice is much fuller than a typical like Cantonese or Canadian congee. Usually the rice is broken up, and actually we usually use stock. This seems like it's just water, so it really matters if the rice tastes good or not.
对，潮汕的粥呢，主要就是粘稠啊，然后可以吃小菜，这都是潮汕配粥各种小菜。
Some of them are very similar to the ones we have in Hong Kong, such as the salty egg, the fermented bean curd, and these two are very particular to Chiu Chow, the Chinese olives and the pickle or sour cabbage.
可以尝一尝这个，哎，来，还有这个。
This one was just a plain neutral congee, and the rice was actually very, very thick. Normally it's like a soupiness and you can eat it with a spoon, but this was the first congee that I could eat with chopsticks. That's how thick it was. It was almost like a risotto.
Now, talking about the food scene here in Chiu Chow.
潮汕所谓的美食呢，人类的发展都是这样，都是按照当地有什么东西，然后这个东西怎么去精益求精的去做出来，做得好它就变成美食。那么比如说在潮汕呢，人多地少就比较贫穷，就会用到把一种食材做成不同的各种食物啊，比如说用米可以做成果条，做成果，做成各种米制品，这些原来都是为了吃饱了，但是生活好了以后，做的精致就变成美食，而且大家呢会给它附上很多有意义的事情，所以它就变成一种美。人类对于所有食物的变化，都是一个与时俱进的过程。比如说我们潮汕有很多米制品，就用米做成的各种小吃啊，类似果品啊，都是用米作为原料。那为什么会用这个米作为原料呢？比如在100年前或者几十年前，我们科技很落后的时候，作为老百姓，他对大米呢，它是没办法保存的，因为随着这个气候的变化，这个米呢放过3个月以后，有一些米呢开始又陈化了，长蛀虫，它又发霉，那么好了，这时候这种人类的劳动人民的智慧，他就从生活里面点点滴滴开始创造一些东西，就把米呢碾成粉，或者给它磨成浆，给它做成熟的晒干，这是我理解的米制品最早的起源。潮汕小吃琳琅满目，我们来吃个跟米有关系的，这个是米。
Yeah. Well, firstly, what does that remind you of?
It looks a lot like sushi, Alvin.
Exactly.
So Mr. Lee first took us to one of his favorite street food stalls that showcases how you can use rice different ways. One was almost like a long spring roll with bean curd wrapping. inside stuffed with flavorful rice. There's almost like a savory fried rice in the center of it. Still warm. They actually did it fresh to order for us. And the last one was probably my favorite, was the rice dumpling.
And this last one I'm really looking forward to because this is very local.
红头果
It's called yeah.
包的还是米饭啊，就是还有这糯米。
I actually prefer this one. The outside gets much crispier. The outside reminds me of when I was a kid and the bottom of your rice pot has that sticky, crispy rice. It's the exact same. So the outside is like sticky rice, almost like mochi, but she actually pan-fried it. So that reminded me of a childhood story. Like my mom would always make rice and burn the bottom on purpose. And you'd get this crispy layer of rice. And that was exactly like the outside exterior of this dumpling. Inside, super flavorful filling. Everything was perfect about it.
人类都是不断在发现当中去完美自己的生活的。刚开始为了不能浪费，把它保存起来，那突然之间发现有一些做法也挺好吃的。大家变换的花样吃，就把这个米浆做成的这个果呢，就给它碾成一层薄皮，里面再包住一些肉，各种香料，那么到这时候的出现呢，是代表潮汕人民的生活开始好过。 它才会出现这个。
Jixiang Kueh Shop is a well-known specialist making kueh in the area, serving nearly 100 different kinds of kueh, all of which are lovingly handmade using traditional methods. The owner is Wang Mingxing.
我觉得果是潮汕文化的载体。 只要有潮汕人在，就有果在动这个东西，它里面代表着很多寓意啊之类的，都是用米做的。发果蒸起来像这样子，开口笑，开口笑的意思就是要发财。那红桃果就是做成一个桃形，以前的时候是给人老人家祝寿的意思，它里面印的这是一个寿字。然后还有一个就是甜果，潮汕人以前要过去马来西亚，要过去那个新加坡，要去那边做工，都会用毛巾绑着一条甜果，然后这样漂洋过海吃。因为甜果一耐吃，糯米做的东西不会容易变质。那甜果就是故事，就是在上东西是一个甜甜蜜蜜的意思，也代表着潮汕人漂洋过海去打工的一个故事。
我们在这里做的这个果，才在真正意义上，跟米有关系的，都是米制品。从这个皮，这个也是米做的。 然后这个馅、这个料，也都是米做的。
OK，
对，所以这个老师傅呢是做了几10年了。
这个是糯米饭，还有什么花生之类，还有香菇，这个是汕头的绑列啊，这个是干贝，这种是虾米，潮汕人就比较喜欢吃这种。
现在做了，你看到这个料，这就各种配料就这么多，这么复杂。 在以前是没有的，其实包的就很简单的米。
Now I've seen many versions of this in Southeast Asia, but this is the first time I've seen this one, the red lucky peach guo. Now he's pretty good at doing these things. I'm gonna let him give it a try. You wanna give it a try?
Yeah, I absolutely want to try one.
Can we do some?
Okay.
So again, Chef Long opened us with welcome arms. Very kind of him to let foreigners into his kitchen and even try making some of his famous dumplings. When I first touched the dough, I was surprised by how sticky it was. It immediately stuck to my fingers, but when he was working with it, it just flawlessly flowed between his fingers. So I had to load up my hands with cornstarch, and then it was much easier to work with. Stuffing it, he put some sticky rice. It was almost like a lo mai gai, and he was very particular in how much he put in each one. Maybe it's a cost thing or it's a luck thing. After that, we would wrap it up and then just mash that into the beautiful mold. It would pop out and it would look gorgeous.
Not bad, eh? Can you tell us where we can get one of these molds?
OK， 我带你去找手工雕刻的。
Okay. Great. Excellent. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
From cake to cake seals, Master Su Li Ming is about to school our chefs in the fine art of engraving.
This one I recognize. This is the shape of all the local guas.
这些是潮州的红桃果，这个中间是中国的寿这老。
This one looks a little similar to the one in Singapore. Can you tell me a bit about this one?
这个叫红龟果印，红龟果印就是闽南地区、福建、漳州和台湾、马来西亚、新加坡那个泰国，他们都有用的。这个是中秋的月糕，8月15中秋拜那月亮了。
Now this one, I'm really intrigued with this one. What is this one about?
这个是五谷主的印，五谷就是专管粮食的神。
That's a god of 5 grains. I need one of these for good luck in my kitchen.
我们家是祖传的做这个木果印的。我做雕刻果印啊，做了差不多30多年了。
How long does it take you usually to make one of these molds?
小的是1、2天，大的要7、8天都有，有大有小。
And the more elaborate one, it could be up to a week. So much dedication, so much patience.
雕刻的时候是思考这个模子，它印出来是又很漂亮，一定要让人家一拿到这个果印的时候看得到，心情就比较好。然后再做果印，再做饼，它都是一个快乐的过程。人家在吃这个饼还是果的时候，他也是看到很喜欢。
It always interests me seeing these people, artisans, old people, keeping with their traditional ways because you could easily do this with a machine, you could easily mass produce this, but there's something about saying it was handcrafted that makes it sound so much better. And the fact that he does this day in, day out, in the heat, outside, just shows how passionate he is about this mold. And it really comes through when you actually hold one and look at it.
Similarly, kueh made with these molds is said to have particularly profound emotion within them. Those who left their hometown with kueh in their rucksacks many years ago may be able to taste the nostalgia of home in the kueh, whereas overseas Chinese may be in for a sweet and joyful surprise when they taste it for the first time. This is the taste of kueh, as well as the different tastes of life.
So our rice journey doesn't end there. We've had rice dumplings, even rice, but there's one thing left, rice noodles, one of my all-time favorites, which brought us to Akun's noodle shop.
Wow, look at those different cuts of beef. Tenderloins, shank, chuck maybe. And that piece, okay, that flat piece. And see that beef is shining, it's absolutely fresh. And look at the way he cuts it. Hand cutting is very important as well. You gotta cut it just perfect to get that perfect texture.
I noticed he doesn't actually cut thin slices. He cuts like multiple pieces and then one chunk off. So I think you'll have a nice mouthfeel when we eat it.
And that's right, but what are we waiting for? Let's go.
Right when we walked in, he's slicing beef, but almost in a way I've never seen before. He doesn't just shave the beef or cuts it into chunks. He actually cuts it like an accordion. So like a few slices and then cuts a chunk off, which is very interesting because when you eat the beef, the texture is extremely different.
牛肉就是要吃新鲜的，越新鲜的牛肉越嫩。很多大的店它用机切了，那我们都是用手工切的。还有那个牛肉丸，我们也是手工做的。
Wow, this is almost like a feast in a bowl. I can tell you, for me, the soup is very important. Wow. Now, my favorite part of the beef noodle is actually the soup. It's not too spicy, but every single spoonful is like eating a piece of beef. So rich. From Asia, North America, Europe, I have tasted many beef noodles, but this one was different. The stock was simple, but it was just so natural. The secret about beef noodles, for me, is first, of course, the beef. And this beef is fantastic. How do you source the beef?
这个牛肉我们是专门去那个屠宰场找那个土黄牛，就是找那个最好的部位，才有这么好的牛肉。
他专长就是做这个牛肉丸，是最专业的。
And the beef ball is all about texture. Bounce in my mouth. It massages my teeth. I never had that texture ever. And finally, the noodles. And this is why we came to China, to look for rice noodles. And I must say, this is one of the best rice noodle I ever had.
果条我不是很专业，但是我可以在上头找到那个手工的传统做下来的。
Just have a very unique texture, very silky and just break apart in your mouth, but they still hold together. Very well done. And at that moment, having his beef noodles, I was like, wow, how could it get better than this?
纯手工做了很累，现在都没什么人想做了，坚持下来的人很少，很少了。汕头这边就对食材要求很严格，但是还好，我们就是比较坚持那个传统，坚持那个手工，包括那个果条，我们也是拿人家那个手工传统做下来的。
手艺是我小的时候，因为登坛这边的好像是家家户户逢年过节都有做果条，我奶奶她也会做啊，然后我妈做的时候，我就在旁边帮忙做，然后慢慢就学会了。
手工的果条，它吃起来的口感就特别好，跟那个鸡做的基本就是两种感觉。
我就是从这几年慢慢琢磨，慢慢研究出来的。加上我们这边有一个优势，就是有山泉水来的。我们用米磨出来那个浆，那个水是用那山泉水加下去磨的，所以吃起来那个口感就不一样，比较 Q 弹那样。还有我炒的那个配料，还有那个猪油，还有那个酱，抹上去的那个酱，是我自己研发出来的。
Can't wait to try this.
来尝一下，尝一下。来，啊，哦，
I don't think I've ever had fresh xiangfun before. It has a really interesting al dente bite to it. Yeah. Very impressive. This xiangfun was almost translucent, paper thin, and you could see the filling on the inside, yet still had the integrity to hold it without bursting. And then when you eat it, you get the chew of the rice noodles, all the inside flavors, but it was just the perfect thin, silky vessel.
This is not just absolutely delicious, you know. I love the textures of all the different vegetables, but also she's working lightning speed. I want her in my kitchen.
做那个果条卷快，就是熟能生巧嘛。还有就是我怕影响那个口感，因为太慢的话，那个果皮亮它就会很硬，不会那么柔软。做快的话，那个口感就很柔软，又有 Q 弹性这样。
Wow, I just cannot stop eating this.
Visiting the rice fields, the noodle shop, the cake shop, this has really stirred up my imagination, how rice has traveled from China to everywhere in the world, how people have migrated, bringing with them different varieties of rice. They travel with the rice cake. They nourish them for this long trip. It makes me realize how important rice is to the Chinese.
制作球呢，是从南宋的时候就开始有了，所以当时制作球呢，是为了这两岸的人民，他可以方便的出入。那么在潮汕，我们当时呢，很多人就漂洋过海，经常到泰国，而且把潮汕的很多元素都带过去，在那边落地生根。所以现在整个泰国保存的潮汕的一些传统饮食文化，反而更是完整。
Many years ago, Teochew immigrants left for Thailand from Guangxi Bridge with kueh in their rucksacks. And they also got ashore here like we do now. Is their migration route also the very route by which rice is brought to Thailand from China?
So we landed on the harbor of Long 1919. Now I believe it's here where the original trading of rice began.
Hi,
Siren, how are you?
Hi, Chefs, how are you? Well, thank you.
Eric?
Hi, Eric, Siren. Welcome to Long 1919.
I'm very excited because I understand this is where exactly the Chinese landed when they came into this country. And I know you're an expert of their history, so...
Well, I'll try my best. Let me show you around.
What was here? I mean, this looks like a very old warehouse.
Well, this is relatively old. It's about 100 years old, and it's the warehouse where my ancestors, when we were trading rice, stored the rice before they were shipped off around the world.
Wow, so is this the authentic structure?
The beams are authentic. The corrugated irons we had to change because they were run down quite a bit. So this was actually built in around 1850, so 150 years ago. Much older than the two structures which is past. And it was built as a port where the Chinese would get off and not feel so alienated. So it felt very much like home. When the Chinese were coming into Siam at that time to trade what? To trade tea, trade silk, and Chinaware, these would be their showrooms at the bottom and the shopkeepers would be on top. There's altogether about 90 rooms here with a shrine in the middle.
From the structure, I mean, the roofs is very, very Chinese. And I guess it's very important for the Chinese to keep their culture here because they're so far away from home. So, you know, they're bringing in their architectures, I guess a lot of their ceremonial, their religion, and their food.
Well, there's a lot. This is a mixed bag of a lot of cultures. Chinatown is just opposite, and there's a lot of traditional Chinese culture even concentrated around here too.
The Wanli family are among the first Chinese to start trading rice in Thailand. They used their overseas family connections to establish trade with Canton, Hong Kong, Singapore, and Saigon. By 1920, the family had become the largest rice millers and exporters in the whole of Thailand.
This place, Long 1919, the first name was called Huai Zhong Long, which is a transliteration of several languages. Huai is fire, Zhong like a junk boat, and Long is a Thai for garage. So the owner of this place is one of the few people who privately own a steamboat. So it's a steamboat terminal where the Chinese would get off. My great-grandfather bought it in 1919. That's why we kept the name Long 1919 to be the hub of our rice and other businesses that the family engages in. And this one was built, in 1850s to cater for the increasing Chinese merchants who come here at a much larger scale, to get off at somewhere where it's culturally, aesthetically, linguistically very similar to their hometown makes, I think, just a more comfortable first step. The really big change came in 2017, I think, when the people living here were aging and the younger generations weren't living here anymore. So the few families left were moved out. When we come for our sort of familial gatherings for Chinese New Year and so forth, walking out to see an old building which is unoccupied for even just 3 months period, but to see how quickly the walls were bending, how quickly the saplings were coming out of the walls we decided, something has to be done. That's the start of the preservation of this place. Preserve it as much as we could. The temple is next door.
As a village that's been that old, it was in phenomenal shape. I mean, Dr. Saran and his team did a great job renovating it, and he also kept some good, authentic art.
The walk on Long 19 with Dr. Saran was very, very interesting, and I would say sentimental for me. Because what I saw was a passion to preserve the history, preserve the old, preserve it as much as possible. And this is very important for my inspiration, because sometimes you have to look back in history to look for inspiration.
It's my first time in Thailand, and I absolutely love it. The cities are never dead.
Same as the Teochews in China, people here are always busy and bustling with energy. It is said that there are about 8 million Teochew immigrants, including their descendants in Thailand. Do they miss the flavors of their hometown? Are the rice and rice dishes such as kway teow and kway fan made with adapted localized flavors, or do they stick to tradition?
Now, right next to a complex was Chinatown. Went to a restaurant called Yim Yim, a Chiu-Chiao restaurant that has a very long history of several generations.
ครับผมก็จริงๆแล้วเนี่ยตั้งแต่คุณทวดนะครับอพยพมาตั้งรกรากในประเทศไทยเนี่ยก็ได้เลือกที่จะอยู่ในโซนเยาวราชก็คือเป็นโซนของแหล่งคนจีนอยู่แล้วนะครับก็ตรงนี้จะเป็นโซนที่ส่วนใหญ่แล้วจะเป็นคนแต้จิ๋วอยู่ซึ่งท่านเองก็เป็นคนแต้จิ๋วด้วยก็เริ่มตั้งแต่ที่มาเริ่มทำงานทั่วไปแล้วก็มาเริ่มทำอาหารขาย
Yim Yim, or Smile Smile, is the first Chaozhou restaurant in Yaorawat. In the beginning, it was very popular with the taste of Chaozhou heritage, but now people of all walks of life come to savor its unique flavors. Elvin and Eric are in for a feast as the owner prepares a feast between countries and cultures.
Well, Mr. Am,
Yes.
I see here a table with a lot of food.
Yes.
Can you explain some of these dishes? I mean, they look very familiar to me.
All right, can you tell me a bit about these noodles? It looks a lot like the hou fan or rice noodles that we
Yes,
have.
rice noodles. This one is very simple dish. That's just the rice noodles, chai po, kailan. That's all. There's
Well.
no meat.
Well, simplicity sometimes is the best.
This one is the raw fish. This dish came from my great-grandfather.
Oh, yes.
When he immigrated from the
Santao,
Santao to Bangkok, and he bring this one. We use the songyu and vegetables, maybe different from the China because this is the local vegetables that we can find.
Yeah.
And the sauce also changed a little bit.
Yeah. This fish is very famous, okay, in Quzhou cuisine, okay? It's called yusang or raw fish.
Yes,
And
raw
usually it's eaten during, special occasions,
Yeah.
like New Year.
Yes.
Well,
you have to stir the sauce first.
So you stir the sauce.
make
Now I
it
know the
very well.
sauce is also very unique because the versions I had was a much sweeter sauce.
Yes.
And this one looks quite spicy.
It looks very spicy.
But it's not spicy at all.
It's not spicy?
Yeah.
Where does the red come from?
The chili paste, but it's not spicy.
This is absolutely delicious.
Looks gorgeous.
So,
Okay.
Try just the
Yeah,
fish.
just the fish first. It's not fishy.
First thing, you can definitely taste how fresh it is. You don't get any stink. And I love the addition of sesame seeds. It adds a very nice texture to it. So it's almost like eating rice noodles, actually, because it's so delicate, it's so paper thin, and then when you mix it with the sauce, it's incredible.
You're right.
From the yusang or the raw fish, the way it was beautifully presented, thinly sliced, all evenly cut, really enhanced my experience because I could really appreciate how long it takes a chef to just present that one plate. And if it's a top seller, then yeah, that chef is definitely a busy one.
The next one is the fried rice, olive rice.
Actually, that lime really works well. Because I can sometimes, when I eat fried rice, like Yangzhou fried rice, I actually add a bit of vinegar. And this lime, gives it the same kind of acidity, balances the oiliness of the fried rice, and gives it a nice citrus note.
Couldn't agree more. I think that having this super savory olive in here, it needs the lime, it needs the acidity, unlike other fried rice.
And that olive is so aromatic. Now, after Yim Yim, I was on a mission. I wanted to find more. I wanted to experience more traditional Chinese dishes. Maybe dishes that was lost forever in the original country. Something that has landed and is preserved. So I'm going on a treasure hunt. I found a small shop serving rice noodle and fish ball. Now, obviously, it's a very popular shop by the huge line in front of it.
The next stop on Alvin's treasure hunt is a third-generation family-run noodle store with an 80-year history of very satisfied customers since 1939.
Oh, my grandfather started this business 80 years ago, since 1939. Yes, at the Yaowarat Road.
In 1959, my grandfather started the fishball noodle shop, also in Chinatown, in Yaowarat Road. At that time, the business ran quite well. From 1976, my father, the second generation, started this one. And now for this one, it's already 43 years already.
Wow, we have a real feast here, don't we?
Yeah, oh my God. 4 different kinds of noodles, 2 soup, 2 dry. Can't wait to dig in.
So you've been here for 80 years. The history of this shop is 80 years from your grandfather.
Yes.
Which part of China did your grandfather come from?
Santao.
Have you ever been to Santao before?
I've been twice.
What do you tell me? Is there any difference between the noodles here and the one from Santao?
Actually, that time I'm still young.
Okay.
The thing that I found is several kind of food is quite the same.
Yeah.
My family have chance going to Santao. We find the food is quite the same that we have in Chinatown here in Bangkok, like fried noodle, fried oyster, Chinese fried goose, and especially the fishball. Actually, we try to maintain the taste like the original one, but frankly speaking, sometimes we also have to improve. Yeah, because we need to adjust according to the market situation.
Well, I tell you, well, one thing I noticed that we did not see in Santao was this. This big array of condiments. And I guess the local palate here, they like the different condiments, okay? The sugar, you got chili, you got the fish sauce, you got the sugar and the pepper. Now, I think in Santao, all we had was maybe some chili, right?
This is the Thai style.
Yeah.
The Thai people is more like it's more spicy, so they put the dry chili. I think in Santao you find only the siao.
I love
here is the fish sauce.
I absolutely love how you keep this authentically Chinese and then keep this Thai option on the side.
Well, let's dig in.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
The texture.
Yeah.
So very soft, airy.
Yes.
But I love that flavor of fish as well.
Yeah.
I mean, here I guess use the same fish as Santao or a different fish.
This is from the original recipe. We use 3 kinds of fish.
Okay.
The first one will be the Spanish mackerel.
Yeah.
And the second one is a swordfish. And then the third fish is yellowfish.
Oh, wow.
I absolutely love this ho fun, or the rice noodle. It's very similar to the one that we had in Chaozhou. They had a Cheng Fun master. She made it paper thin, but also this is very, very thin as well. So I'm surprised you guys can get this quality of rice noodle.
For me, the perfect adaptation of fishball noodles from Santao to Bangkok.
Couldn't agree more.
I still want to keep this business on. This will be handed to our grandson. That will be the 5th generation. Yeah.
Now, sometimes we find that histories and tradition is actually preserved better in a foreign land, because I think people are actually very, very protective of their culture when they're living in the foreign land, because they see the importance of keeping the culture, the traditions, to the new cultures and the new lifestyle in their foreign land. A lot of times I see time being stood still with dishes and traditions. That I find it in the foreign land, I see that as a treasure of seeing something that goes way, way back, something that definitely will inspire me.
Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to our cook-off. The cook-off is about what I learned, what I saw from my trips. My mission with Eric is to trace the Chinese footstep from China to Bangkok. I'm looking for is how they preserve the culture, how they have infiltrated and actually created into the society. So the first dish come out. So the first dish is a combination of inspiration from both China and Bangkok. From Santao, I brought over some Chinese olives. At Yim Yim, I had a fried rice made with olives. Now, this is actually very visual. The plate is actually kind of like a bamboo sieve. They sift the rice, getting rid of the husk, which you see on the plate. The eatable parts are these meringues made with rice water. And filling them is a buttercream made with Chinese olive, which I brought over from Santao, China. Chinese olive that Mr. Lin gave me, which I brought to Thailand. The inspiration is bringing something from the old country and using it in your new adapted land. All right, so please enjoy.
Cheers.
Cheers. I particularly enjoyed the texture of the rice water meringue. I thought that was
Lovely.
Surprising, the first bite, you get the sweetness from the meringue and you feel like you're eating dessert, and then suddenly the savoriness from the butter comes through, from the cream comes through. Really, really pleasurable.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's really pretty.
Wow.
So the next dish, inspirations from the rice field of Qingti, where they have been cultivating rice and fish together for over 1,000 years. They're perfect neighbors. So it's a perfect harmony between rice and fish living together. We have a cod, which we fill with frog raw or duck liver. We have a sauce. We have a sauce made with rice. So it's flavored with 8 different spices. That's a lot of things. And I gotta make sure that all things are balanced. Balanced, coexisting with each other in harmony, just like the rice field.
I think the combination about rice, duck, and fish is very good taste. The fish is very fresh. Everything is nice.
The inspiration of this dish is the combination of rice, duck, and fish. It's made this dish very beautiful.
Thank you.
So cute.
The final dish is something I brought over from Santao. We visited a very old kwai shop. Now, kwai is very important in the Chinese culture, and often we see it in religious ceremonies where they, offer it to the gods. But kwai was also very important during the long trip over from Santao to Bangkok. Now, in China, they were made in wood molds, but here they're decorated into whimsical animals, something just to make us happy, and also my journey. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think this is a conclusion of the Chef Alvin journey. This is a creativity one. The taste is good, not really sweet.
I think it says as much about Chef Alvin as it does about anything else. The guy is whimsical and playful and fun. So, we're finishing the meal with a smile.
All right, well, this concludes our cook-off. I want to thank every single one of you for coming, okay? And most important, I want to thank you for inspiring me to cook better rice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chef.
Thank you.
The trip from Santao and Bangkok was most fruitful and interesting, but the journey doesn't end here because a bowl of rice has a lot of grains, and each grain has its own story to tell.
And the journey here truly isn't the end. It's just the beginning, as Alvin and Eric set up on the skies for the next part of their culinary quest. Next stop, they are to discover tribal cuisine, ancient culture, and tradition.